Okay, listen. So we finna keep it going. So I joined season 3, right? Now, from what I can remember about season 3, I feel like, bitch, you should have had a producer credit because you was always involved some type of way, right?
Baby.
I remember you flying in December. Remember you flew in December, and I think you stayed with me. You stayed with me. You stayed with me. You stayed with me.
Yeah,
Bitch, you
I
stayed with
think
me.
I stayed and then I went to my mama's house. Yeah, afterwards.
Yeah, you went to your mama's house.
Hmm.
Yes. But you flew in December, and we shot a lot of scenes that week, right?
Hmm.
And
Please, let's go there. I
oh no, we're
cannot
gonna go
wait.
there. But
Hmm.
before we get into all that, because this is a lot of behind the scenes tea, I don't think the world has ever heard about or talked about. And I'm a bitch. I'm gonna tell it. You know, shit. I'm gonna tell it. Let's talk about Gardini taking the LLC, or
Hmm.
that's how it's always that's how it's always dubbed. But for real, y'all, like honestly, in hindsight, now that I know more about LLCs and shit like that, like honestly, what Gardini had did was honestly nothing. Now, if the nigga had spent $2,000 of what it cost to trademark the name Chasing Atlanta, then that would have been a whole other conversation. But he really just spent the money that says Chasing Atlanta. Like it
Hmm.
anybody can create an LLC that says anything. Just because you create an LLC with
Yeah.
this name doesn't mean you own the name. It means you
Hmm.
own the LLC that has this name. No,
That
baby, you
that
got
has
you
that particular
that has
name.
that name,
Hmm.
baby. No, you got to spend. I'm telling you, you got to spend about $2,000 plus to own the copyright to something, unless you fall underneath the jurisdictions of natural copyright laws, which is only really restricted to videos, audio, really video and audio. That's like
Hmm.
a born copyright in America. What Gardini had did in hindsight, child, wasn't really nothing. But anyways, back then it was a huge thing. It
It
was a
was.
huge thing. Take us down
Hmm.
memory lane on what you remember about that whole fiasco.
Boom, boom, boom. Got a knock on my cell phone. And Ondario says, "Oh, girl, this girl is going crazy." And I said, "Girl, what is the tea? What's going on?" And so she says, "This girl has went and bought a LLC, and it says chasing reality." No,
Mm-hmm.
it says, and so I was like, let me go look. So you know me, I'm a business girl. So I go and I look and I say, okay, let me see. And then so I'm looking at it and then she sends it and she says, and she owns it and she puts us as managers. And I said, managers? How you gonna put somebody as managers and she isn't even a part of the company? I said, well, have you talked to her? Has anybody talked to her? And he says, I can't get in touch with Kevon. And I said, okay. I said, all right, well, girl, LC. And she say, I don't know if I did. I need to go and see. So throughout all of that, she gets the Chase Reality LLC. It's good, right? And so now Andera, you know how Andera get when he mad. So she's mad.
Baby.
She's mad and she's like, girl, she's not a part of the show. We're not. She can't come back. Fuck her. And da 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 da. And I'm just like, well, girl, I mean, if she gonna give good show, girl, she gotta give good show. We need to figure out exactly what to do. I said, have you talked to her? What's going on? So I called and talked to Gardini.
Girl, I never knew about this. Tell me more.
Right. So I called and I talked to Gardini. Gardini is pissed and mad and says, oh no, y'all trying to take over my friend brand and this is fucked up. And Reesie, I don't really think it got nothing to do with you anyway, but Ondario, she's trying to take over this motherfucking brand and da 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 da, just going off. And then she hangs up on me and I try to call her back. She don't answer the phone. I try to call Kevon, don't answer the phone. So at this point, I'm like, girl, fuck them. I said, if she do another show, girl, it don't matter. You got Chasing Atlanta. You gonna do it. And that's when the posts come up of Chasing Atlanta, chasing this. I mean, chasing what was it, Orlando, like something else. It
DC.
was,
I don't
yeah,
know why I always remember chasing DC.
it was like all this stuff that had came up, and I was like, girl, don't worry about it. I said, if she tries to do it, then great, but she's not gonna have the views. We got X amount of subscribers right now. You good, girl. And so at this, I don't think that people, and you can attest to it, but I don't think that people really understand how emotional Ondario is.
He's an
And
Aquarius. We're very
and you
emotional.
know,
We don't like the world to know that, but we're very emotional.
And like my
And he a
friend was,
January Aquarius too.
oh my God, just crying and all tore up. And it was just like, it was a lot at the time for him. And it was just like, because people didn't understand that this is no shade to Kevon, but Kevon wasn't putting up money for certain things. Kevon wasn't able to be at everything because I think he had like a night job at one point in time. And so he wasn't able to go and film everything. Then Kevon at the time didn't have a car, so Andaria would have to go and pick him up and
Oh
bring him to
wow,
the
I never
set and
knew all
stuff.
that.
It was even the heavy set boy. I can't the one that they eventually started dating.
His name started with a J. He used to be so sweet.
So sweet, but he
He
would
was
have to
so
go and
sweet.
pick him up and then bring him back, and he was doing a lot. Like he was picking, and he was still doing that all the way up until season 5. Honest, or
Four.
season 4,
Mm-hmm.
4. And it was just always like a thing of, well, I keep that off. It was always a thing of, he's doing all this stuff for the show, and then how dare you come at him left when, and that's why he was so upset about this past season, because Andario was like, he's not gonna throw up in your face what he's done until he get pissed off. I know
Mm-hmm.
my friend. And so that's what it was. It was like, I'm paying for this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like like one of the venues, the Coco Studios, that was a
That they toe
referral.
up.
So gag on this. That was a personal referral of mine. And I was like, girl, don't let these people come up in there and fight up on this place. Because
Which they
girl, that's my
did.
name. And they did. And I can remember Andera calling me saying, Reesie, I'm so sorry. I said, girl, what's up? I am so sorry. I said, what, girl? They done told this lady stuff. I said, oh Lord, girl, what I didn't really care about it because I was able to call and we was good. But
Funky Dineva called me too. Because I think he was friends with the lady
child,
who owned it. He said, Oliver, what the fuck y'all
Coco.
did over there?
Because Coco was not having it, honey.
Mm-mm.
And because the how I met Coco when I was working with Mushiya on cutting it, and we had did a video shoot over there.
Who,
But
guys,
like,
Mushiya is responsible for this, what you guys see today. I interviewed Mushiya doing my days with Funky Dineva, and she looked at me, she said, what's that in your hair? And that was back in the day when I used to take track hair, black hair, or
mm-hmm,
blonde hair, and I would dye it. Or I had my hair person, Shamir, who's in Atlanta, who does he does a lot of hair. He would dye it gray, take a rat tail comb, put it on a little press thing and press it down to like burn the hair, and I would take it and separate it and then pin it down. And when she saw it, and she was like, can y'all get him a box of Runway Curls from the back? She was like, you need to stop doing that. But
now
yes.
gag, now gag. Since the girls always love to say if I hate them and I was never supported with them, which one of your friends did I put on to work with Mushiya?
Girl, was I around that time? I
They
don't
used to
remember.
they used to have really long hair. Used to drive around the Chrysler 300 when they first moved to Atlanta.
Who?
They was a part of the Power of Three.
Oh, I never knew that to you. Are you talking about Quentin T. Harris? Oh, girl, I didn't know that to you.
Do you want another full tea about that?
Oh, but girl, you didn't said it.
Yeah.
See, this
So
is why. But
what
it's okay.
happened? See, this is why being in the mix with Twix is all you need. So
Baby, it's about being in the mix. People just. But
picture it.
proceed.
Picture it. Woodruff Art Center, the premiere of season 1 of Cutting It in the ATL, Reesie G, and Q is attending this event. I was styling Mushiya at the time, had did a couple scenes with her and everything. She's walking the red carpet. We go, we watch the premiere of the show. This over with. Me and Mushiya are kikiing. He is a newbie to the city.
Oh, you talking
I
about when he
flirted.
had his dreads?
No, he had hair. He had his hair was just long. He just had long
Oh,
hair.
I never
This
knew
is the
long hair Q.
he was etched up and he had long hair. It was long, probably as long as my locks.
Oh wow.
And he had a really struggle independent A to B gray Chrysler 300. Mushiya was leaving. We was going to the after party and Q was around. I introduced them to because I think I had just recently met him somewhere else. I introduced them to, and she needed like an assistant or something at the time. So I didn't know him, but I was just like, "Hey, Mushiya, this is my friend Q. You know, he I know you look for an assistant. Maybe I could do some work." And she was like, "Okay, Reesie, I trust you. I love you. Let's go get drunk." You know how she talk. Cool. So we leave. He takes me to my suburban, and then we leave from there and go to the after party. Not even like a week later, this is at the beginning of Runway Curls, and he starts working with Mushiya. I don't know how he stopped working with her, but he starts working with Mushiya and helping her with that brand. But I don't live for him. I don't see it for him. I copy him and all that stuff.
Okay, let's put a pin in that real quick because
Hmm.
we gonna get to that
Just playing.
eventually. No, no, I hear
But
you.
yeah, so jumping back. So Gardini LLC. Boom. So then one thing that I did like that he said on your interview was that he was down for Kevon and I was down for Ondario. Period. And so my thing is I didn't make any actions, but what I always push for with all of my friends is do what's gonna give you peace. I say if this is stressing you out, pay it. Do what gives you peace. And so when he made a decision to just kind of be like, because it was more so he was hurt at the fact that Kevon and Gardini were close, and then he was blindsided. And then when he finally brought it up, I wasn't on the phone call, so I'm gonna say allegedly, Kevon was like he didn't know that that it was gonna happen, and we didn't believe him at the time. So that's
Well,
where
well,
the
Gardini said in our chat that
I saw
Kevon
that.
knew, and I gagged because
I
I
saw
always
that.
thought Gardini had just went and just did it. That was
That's
my
what
understanding,
we
which
didn't know
I
what to
gagged.
think. We didn't know what to think because just like you said, we were all young. We were new to this. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if this person was going to steal it. All this hard work that we put in, and so that's what we thought. We didn't know. So it was just
405 people in the room watching you right now, Reesie G.
yes. Be in the mix with Twitch. Y'all better click that subscribe button and click that like button. Okay, and go follow. He is Oliver Twixt on Instagram. Okay, but
Okay,
anyway,
and
so
Reesie G,
you
honey. If
okay,
you
and Reesie
Reesie G,
G.
if you want the tea.
Okay. And so that's what it was, and then so after that, and then so that's not where the train actually got off the tracks with Ondario and Kevon though. It was something, but the end all be all was when it was the money piece. It was the money piece, and it was like the reunion and the cost for the venue, and how he kept saying because I never heard about the rent thing or whatever. I don't
Me
recall hearing
either.
that. Like him paying the rent. I know that Ondario paid some stuff when he was working at T-Mobile and everything, but I didn't know to the depth because I was like, girl, I don't really that ain't none of my business, so I don't really, hey girl, hey. Um, but it was I can remember him showing me the screenshot and he was just like, Reese, I gotta pay all this extra money for what they messed up at the reunion
I
space.
remember. I remember.
I gotta pay all this extra money, and he's crying on the phone. I hate to hear him cry. He's crying on the phone. I'm like,
I,
girl,
I I
listen.
hate to see him cry too. That baby can. Oh, that baby can
I
cry.
hate
It
to hear
just make you want
anybody.
to
It's
hug him.
ugly. It's so ugly.
It make you want
It's
to
an ugly
hug him.
cry. Okay. And it's like I said, girl, I said, listen, I said, well, you're gonna have to make a very hard decision. I said, either you're gonna continue to go through this, or you can try and get him a job where you work it. Like some has got to change because you can't just keep pulling money out like that. And I said, I'm tired of hearing you cry, friend. Like I'm tired of hearing you
And
cry.
can I give context? I want to
Hmm.
give context. Back in the day, at least when I've joined Chasing Me Out, this is like season 3, and you already said it. And Dario was working at T-Mobile, and Dario used to
Hmm.
put in his hours at T-Mobile and try to edit while he was at work, or get off of work at T-Mobile and go home to try to edit the episode, which is why like back in the day our episodes used to be like 35 minutes, 40 minutes and stuff like that. He used to try to like edit as well as film, as well as coordinate the cast, as well as pay for stuff, as well as organize the producers, as well as deal with all the shit. And that's why for me as a cast member, I used to try my very best to make his job easier because I just knew all the stuff that he had to do just based off the things that I was seeing and that he was sharing with me. The man was still working a full-time job during season 3 and 4 of Chasing Atlanta. Like, full-time job. I ain't talking about no part-time shit. Like, the nigga was going to work and still making sure Chasing Atlanta, Chasing Dallas, scenes was getting filmed, things is organized, storyboard is going, photo shoot is going. Like, he put in a lot of work. So I would always understand why the boy would be crying, or he would be upset, or he would be frustrated when people would do the shit that they did.
And what people don't know is like even on top of that, it was like when we were doing Dallas, like me and Andario would be on the phone till 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning on TeamViewer and FaceTime, like editing. Like even though he's physically doing the stuff, he's like, "Hey, do you have something for this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm sending him clips like while I'm laying in the bed, and then we falling asleep on the phone at the same time, and like it was a lot of work that went into it. So when you have moments like this past season when people don't appreciate the work that you're putting in, or people are trying to take claim for something that you know they didn't do. Now, and no tea, no shade, I was kind of conflicted because I was like happy that he was finally saying, fuck this, y'all ain't finna do me like this. And then it was because it was like what people don't see is like life happens while you're doing everything, and you still got a job to, you still got to edit this show, you still got to put it out. And granted, the luxury, now that I edit, I really understand the gravity.
Oh, girl, you edited.
But, I edited the retreat, the whole retreat, and everything that I put out now. I fully edit now. You know
girl, oh, you said fuck it. I'm just gonna do it.
Got to.
I know that's right.
And so it's like, like I used to see, I know how hard work it was. And so like when all of that happened, it was really, that was the straw that broke the camel's back with the money piece. And I was just saying how, and then they had it out, and I was always pushing, why don't y'all need to talk, y'all need to talk. And they never got to a point where talking. And then I can even remember, do you remember that premiere party at, I don't know what that club was, when everybody kind of performed, like Kendra had performed that one night. You had performed. You had performed that night.
It was the only premiere party we ever had. It was the season 3 premiere party, and it was fucking amazing.
So gag on this. So that night, Kevon.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Somebody at the door. And Cookie, you hear Cook? Give me 1 second. Let me play a quick commercial so I can stop her from barking, because she ain't gonna stop. Y'all hear Cookie? She'll bite the fuck out you. Come fuck with me, all right?
Okay. What's up, everyone? It is Darius asking you to check out my newest children's book, DJ Stands on Business. Follow along as 5 friends who are entrepreneurs by the name of Pixel, Raven, a dynamic duo we can learn, and a children's book author named DJ use their entrepreneurial spirit to save money to go on a trip to Mexico. So follow along as children can learn about terms that teach them about entrepreneurship and give them the opportunity to open up the world in the adventures of friendship and entrepreneurship. You can check out my children's book, DJ Stands on Business, as well as DJ's Favorite Day and Twinkle Little Star at www.kingdariusbooks.com.
Girl, it's Sasha, y'all, that's at the door that got the baby, that got the dog doing all this, y'all.
Who's that with my name?
What's up, y'all?
It's Sasha, y'all.
Who's that with my name?
Sasha, I'm at work.
I'm at work. If you at work, I'm at work, right?
Yeah, I know that's right, Daddy. All right. Okay. Yes. What was you about to tell me before I had to jet out right fast?
Oh, you remember that night Kevon came to the party, right?
Okay.
So he walked into the party.
I remember the party. I remember I was lit and I had them glasses on.
Lauren England was there. I still have those photos. He walked into the party and I was finna hug him and he was like, I don't fuck with you. He sure did. And I was like, and then Andario was like, and girl, it was what it was. Lauren saw it and she gagged. Everybody, we all gagged because it was like, what?
But Kevon would give it up that way, though.
He won't give it up.
He would give it up that way. So I believe it. I believe it because Kevon tried to pull me together. I'm like, what did I do?
And I didn't understand why. I didn't get it. Why? I didn't understand. And the only thing I had chunked it up to was the whole Chasing Dallas thing and maybe he felt like I was pushing him out or whatever, but that never was the case. It just was what it was. Like, it was just, I can try and chunk it up to we were young, we need to learn how to talk to each other and everything like that. And that was it. But to speak to Ondario did try to circle back around and speak with him years later, and he just was not receptive to it.
Yeah.
And so honestly, because I saw a piece of the finale live that he did, and I think he had came up, I couldn't even watch it because it was like really hard to watch. So I had cut it off to see them kind of go back and forth like that. Yeah.
So let's get down to season 3, child. I said it earlier, child. Reesie G really should have been a producer because Reesie G used to be all up in our business. Now I didn't care about it, and I'm gonna be real. I'm being real with y'all. You know, shit. Me and Reesie G was friends, and Reesie G used to make shit happen. So you know, I didn't mind Reesie G meddling because Reesie G was going. You know, at the time he was gonna look out for me. So you know, I'll never forget, you came to Atlanta that December, right? And we shot that scene at that toy giveaway. If y'all go back to season 3, there's a scene where the whole cast is present at a toy giveaway. And that was the day where Dario and I became friends because it was so much shit going the fuck on that day. What do you remember, Reesie G?
Everything. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Oh, it first started when I was coming to help my friend out to film this scene at the toy drive for the
And if you don't mind, I would love to jump in and out to like flesh this out too. If you don't mind.
Definitely jump in. So, mind you, let's jump back though, because I had came and I had helped direct and film the scene at Henry's.
I forgot about this. Yes, you did. Girl, we tore that place the fuck down.
So this is the first time that people are meeting Reesie G. They've watched Chasing Dallas. They heard about what I do. I'm in town. I'm helping my friend out. Me and Oliver took the Uber together to ride to go and do the filming.
Still have those videos in my phone, Reesie.
So we go, we film. I'm calming everybody. Yeah, everybody calm down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fun fact. That sweater I had on, I bought that from Nini's store. Greg sold it to me.
Damn. I love that for you. So we go, we do that scene, and then Ondario, because mind you, the reason why I had to come in and help was why we didn't know if Kevon was going to show up.
We'll say it now.
So I was like, you know what? And the reason I was in town, because my mom was sick at the time. And so I was in town back and forth between Atlanta and Dallas helping. So then we go do this scene, right? So I don't know what Montel's tea was. I don't know what they was giving.
Montel did not like you, bitch.
I don't know what Kool-Aid they had drunk. Because mind you, before that, me and Montel would ping pong on social media. You know, it'd be a little, oh, he thick, oh, you cute girl, and he, you know. And then the first hint of, oh, it's some shit was I was filming a scene and WeWereBorn were there. And I think J-Twan he wasn't in the shot, and I was filming it with my phone. He wasn't in the shot. And so and Berlin was like, I was like, where's J-Twan? We need him in the shot. And she was like, oh, he over there helping the kids. You know, he love the kids. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I said, hold on. I said, let's pause right there, y'all. I said, can you say that again? And I started filming because I wanted to hear her. I wanted her to say why J-Twan was not there. He over there helping the kids. You know, he love the kids. That's what it was.
And we're talking about the toy giveaway scene, right?
Yes.
Okay, right.
The Christmas toy giveaway thing with the kids there, and they served the food and everything. The food was good.
The food was good.
I helped bring the food in. Literally picking up the trays and bringing it in. Okay.
Who put that thing together? Was it Jen?
Jen was a part at that time. She was a part, yes.
And I love Jen. Jen is that's my girl. I love me some Jen, but I think Jen had fucked up something. I think Jen had fucked up something that night.
I don't think that's not what fucked. I don't know what.
Okay,
happened
I'm gonna shut up. Keep going.
that night. I don't know what happened with the production side. I know I was just there to help. You know, I'm just here to do we're doing our jobs. I'm just here to do my job. So then she was like, "Oh no, I'm not saying that again. I'm not into that. You know, I don't do nothing. I don't do no mess like that. I'm not saying that again. No, this is Berlin, right?" And I was just like, "Okay, well, we'll just continue." I was just like, you know, it didn't, which later on snowballed into the whole allegations of me trying to make it look like he was a pedophile. You remember that?
I remember, oh, girl. I remember all this, girl. You bring all this shit back to my memory.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I remember that being talked about.
Mm-hmm. And then the allegations of Jay Twan and Kevon was canoodling. Let's stay at the party though.
But you know, I didn't know about that. I'll tell you when I finally found out about that.
So we still at the party, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so while we're at the party, and we're filming and everything, here comes Montel, and he's just kind of looking at me sideways, like, girl, why is she here? Why is she over? She always had she had this air of why she trying to be on our show, and she got her own show. Like, what is that about? And I was just like, girl, I'm not here for you. I'm here because my friend said, hey, come hold the camera. I got a ride to come to and from. That's what that is. So we get into, because the venue was like split. On one side, it was like the kids and the tables and stuff like that. And then on the other side, it was like an empty area where like they had like extra tables and chairs. So I asked Daria, I was like, okay, so are we done? Do we need to catch more? And she was like, yeah, we need to catch one more scene of, I think, them unwrapping the gifts or something like that. I said, okay, cool. So now, mind you, before that, I had asked production that was standing in the photo. I was like, what's going on? I said, what's going on with Montel? He seems like, what's going on? He seems a little off. Is this how he always act? So, and they was like, oh, that's just him, you know, it's whatever. I said, okay, cool. Somebody on production walks over to Montel and tells him what I had said. So I don't know how it was delivered or whatever, but it was delivered in a way that he didn't like.
Who is someone?
I can't remember who exactly it was. That's why I said someone. I don't know, but I know it was somebody on production. So I go and I'm trying to gather the girls all together so we can do this last scene so we can get up out of there. This is when Montel is
my grade.
So okay. So Montel was like, I mean, Reesie, if you got something to say, you can just say it to my face. I mean, you don't have to go around and about. And I looked at her. I said, excuse me? I said, we have a scene that we have to shoot.
Yeah. Just like this, you like, we have a scene we have to shoot.
I said, we have a scene that we have to shoot. And she was like, I mean, if you got something to say, then you need to go ahead and say it. I said, I don't know what's been said. I'm sorry. Are you going to shoot the scene or not? Because we have a scene that we have to shoot. So what are we doing? Because like you want your moment, but you weren't finna get it. And so then she was like, I mean, I'm just saying, I said, you're not gonna get loud with me. I said, we're not gonna do that because we got work to do. So either we're gonna do it or we can do it without you. So then
bitch, I remember
somebody
this.
comes up and they're recording it. So you know, I was like, okay, girl, I'm like, if she really wants this for the camera, she wants to see a bitch go down the slide. We can go down the slide. Because, and so mind you, everybody is standing there looking at us kind of bicker back and forth. Everybody was getting into it, and they was like, because I was just like, girl, wait a minute. this me now. You done heard the stories. You know the story. But let's not do that. From that moment on, Montel has not liked me.
No.
From that moment on, he has not liked me.
That Christmas scene was a mess. And I can't remember. I would have to talk to Endario again to find out because he would jog my memory. But I remember whatever happened. And I really feel like it had something to do with Jennifer. Like, I really feel like it had something to do with Jennifer. But that was the day him and I, like, we locked eyes. It was like, okay, you know, whatever. The next scene that you direct was the iconic. infamous scene at Henry's when me and Kendra get into it. Lauren show up late. This is the scene where we're basically like the new cast is meeting.
That was before. That scene
Was
was
it?
before we did the Christmas thing.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
You may be right. You may be right.
That was my first time meeting WeWereBorn, and that was my first time meeting Kendra.
What do you remember? What do you remember about that scene? Because you was there.
Ooh, child, girl. When I tell you, was that the disrespect you gave?
The disrespect you gave.
That's the legendary line.
Legendary.
The disrespect that you gave was enough. That scene there. And then Lauren came. I remember Lauren was late. She was like, I was like, what is going on? She was like, what's going on? I said, stand outside with your umbrella. Let me tell you what's going on before you come up in here. Because this is what's going on. We was at Henry's and the white people was on the other side. They were like...
Baby, we tore that place to pieces.
When I tell you, y'all was hooping and hollering up in there, you would have thought that it was Zeus. Y'all was hooping and hollering up in there. Y'all didn't tear nothing down.
But it was just a lot of energy.
It was a lot of energy, but it made for good TV though. It was.
I want to talk about what led up to that moment between Kendra and I. Right. So, okay, this is what I remember, and I'm really pulling from it right now. So I shot a scene, I believe it was a scene with Lauren, Q, and Troy when we was at the zoo thing. And it was discussed there that we would all go to Kendra's party. Like, I can't remember who was there that linked it, that said we're going to Kendra's party. When I got to Kendra's party, nobody was there like that said that they was coming. It was just me that was there. So I was like, okay, well, what's going on? And I'm gonna call names, all right? And so Mark was there, Kiri was there. I don't know if Andario was there. And I can't remember Andario or Kevon being there, but I know for sure Mark and Kiri was there.
Kevon wasn't there.
Well, just hold it. And I walked in and they said, Oliver, just go downstairs, okay? And so I went downstairs and I said hi to everybody. I'm saying hi. And so I'm like, okay, is somebody gonna direct the scene? Is somebody gonna tell me to do something? So I literally just sat down and I'm like, okay, what's going on?
I remember.
I'm like, what's going on? The pizza was gone, the blue juice in the cup was gone. It was really like no order or structure going on. So I'm like, okay. So I think I met Kendra. We talked. I met Wayne. We talked. We went outside, right? And I'm calling my Uber, getting ready to go home. Mark pulls out a camera and it's like, because I think we were talking. I was talking to him. He was like, well, what did you think about it? So I'm talking to him. And Dario's in the chat, y'all. I'm talking to Mark, and I'm like, he's like, well, what do you think about the event? I'm like, well, it was this. Mark pulls out a camera and begins to film like an on-the-spot confessional of me doing it. And of course, y'all, I'm new. In my brain, I'm like, well, bitch, this is reality TV, I'm just gonna say it. So I'm saying all this stuff about the situation, right? Fast forward to Cameron's party. I see Kendra and I'm going like to hug Kendra. Kendra is already pissed at me. She did not see it for me. And so she's like, you and I gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to talk. And I'm like, well, what the fuck we gotta talk about? Because this is, I just saw you at your party. We never had no strange words. Like, I literally saw you a couple days at your party. And that's when her and I get into it about like what I said about the party and all this other stuff. If you go back to the scene, you never really hear what I had to say about it because it was never like an in-scene moment. I'm talking to the producer. Yeah. The producer, Mark, went back and told her what I said, which is why she came to the Cameron's party so crunk with me and upset at me.
The first time you could address it, or the first time there was a conversation about it, was going to be at Henry's.
But we ended up talking about it upstairs at Cameron's party when I'm drunk, bitch. When I tell you I was drunk, y'all, I have to go back and watch that scene, y'all. But Oliver was drunk. Like, I had fell on the floor. I was slurring my words. The gray was leaning all the way to the left. I was a drunk. I had it. Girl, Dewan and Devon was at the party. it was like everybody was at that party, and I just was having a good time. And we get up to the stairs, and that's when me and her have that back and forth. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, and I'm thinking, well, I haven't said nothing to the cast about anything. Why is she upset with me about? And it, even in that moment, it never clicked to me that somebody went back and told, somebody from production went back and told her what I said, which then that energy lingers on to the whole Henry scene where she come in already upset with me, and then we have this situation, and you hear me say like, come talk to me if you want to know what I feel and what I think and all that.
Because you wasn't trying to do all that rah-rah. Because I remember we was talking about it on the way, and I was like, well, you're not going to fight. Like, this is a public place. That's not what's happening. And you was like, you just didn't know what to expect. And so when everything started happening, that's why, if y'all go back and watch that episode, that's why, Oliver, you was sitting there ready and anxious, but then you were just like, what's happening? I thought we were good, type of thing. And it was just completely, the disrespect that you gave was enough.
And then Reesie G steps in again and produces another scene. Remember that very next day, because Lauren was late and Kendra and I had came to like a common ground at Henry's. Because we shot that scene that Saturday. That Sunday is how we got that whole brunch scene at my house.
At your house.
Where you then pop up on camera, on screen. I miss those days of Chasing Atlanta where, bitch, we was really filming in real time. You know,
it wasn't supposed to happen.
It was not supposed to happen.
But I was like, okay, well, girl, I'm just gonna walk up the street, and then we just gonna do this. And Adair was like, okay, let's do it. We was like, okay. And then I came in and I said, who?
Okay, I'm trying to think. Where's another good place to go from this? Okay, so season 3 happens. Yada yada yada. Girl, it's all this drama with Reesie G and the cast. And all this foolishness and all this going on. Let's go to the whole tasing. Go ahead.
And then Kevon said, and then you text me and you said, girl, Kevon said you cannot come on the cast trip. I said,
because you were supposed to come. I was going to bring you. You were supposed to come. Oh my God, Reesie G, you're bringing back so many fucking memories right now. Because let's be very clear. And bitch, I'm talking my shit on my own shit. Oliver is the first cast trip outside of the state, right? And a lot of people was upset about that. I don't know why the people was upset, but they was upset that I was the first person to bring an out-of-state cast trip and was actually able to make it happen. And I wanted to bring you because at that time the cast wasn't really, I didn't know what was going on. And I'm like, bitch, girl, I need to come with the troops. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be in this house by myself with all these killers and crazies.
And Dario was all for it, and then Kevon said no. I said,
Okay, so here's some tea. I don't know if I ever told you this. So before we go on the cast trip, I get a call from Gardini, right? Who says like he's back on the cast, right? Like he's back on the show, right? And that's when Gardini and this is like maybe 2 nights before we go down to Miami, maybe the night before we ended up going. And Gardini's like, he tells me about him knowing about allegedly whatever was going on with Kevon and Jatwan, right? And I just remember Gardini talking about, yeah, girl, they're going bowling and they're going out for ice cream and all this stuff. I didn't know at the time that Gardini had liked Kevon or whatever Kevon and Gardini had. I didn't know shit about that, right? I didn't open my mouth about it. I said, well, girl, I mean, shit, I don't fucking know. I don't know.
But the gag is, I was getting tea about that from another cast member.
Who?
I can't say.
Oh, girl, now don't do that shit over here, man.
But I was getting tea about, I was hearing about them talking, dating, or they had went down there. A pair had went in Florida. They went out to eat and went on a little date.
I mean, I don't know if it was the date, but I do remember the people, we was looking for people and we couldn't, whatever. I'm not getting into all that. But
then my name is brought up on the episode.
Yes. Was it during that fight scene, the taser scene?
At the pool.
Okay, so I just remember getting a text from Kevon that said, before I walked into that house, because I was the last one to arrive. Well, one of the, because Lauren wasn't staying there, but I was the last one to get there. And I got a text from Kevon that says, "Whatever happens, go with it." And I was like, "What are you talking
I
about?"
remember.
I'm like,
We
"What are you
talked
talking
about it.
about? Like, what do you mean go with it? Like, what's going on?" I'm thinking like, what has happened already? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't got no beef with Jatwan, so I thought.
You kept saying, Reese, I don't know what the fuck I'm finna walk into. I don't know what the fuck I'm finna walk into. I don't know what the fuck. And I was like, girl, just walk into it, girl.
Which is why when you go back to the pool scene, you see me like in a permanent, my shoulders is up, like, I don't know what's going on. And how am I not involved about you talking about you with Kevon and all the other shit? I don't know shit about this. I literally just got a phone call from Gardini telling me about this. I ain't told nobody about this. So
Because you fucking running your mouth to Ressie G. I was like, why am I in?
Did we ever talk about it?
No.
I don't remember us ever talking about them. And I mean, no tea, no shade, girl. We wasn't talking about them, you know. No tea, no shade. I didn't know anything. I didn't know a thing about a thing other than what Gardini had called me and told me the day before. Or like 2 days before. And now I'm finna get electrocuted in the pool. Your audio's doing something. No. Can y'all hear Reesie G?
Maybe my AirPods.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay.
The people asking me in the comments, I don't know if they were. In order for me to know, I would have to be there to see it. I don't know. And I really don't care. It wasn't my dick or coochie. It wasn't my, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care.
I just wonder if they was hunching, who was hunching who, because
oh my God.
From what we know, them two,
I don't know shit.
To each his own.